What's good, you guys, and welcome back to the DJ's Take.
I'm Donnie.
And I'm James, and on this show, we talk about the music industry from a fan's point of view. Donnie, what are we getting into today?
Today, we are going to be discussing rap beef. Now, present, past?
Past. Okay. And we have our hip-hop expert, Tim, on the mic. What up, Tim?
I'm not an expert, just a fan.
What is the most iconic, legendary hip-hop beef?
It's always going to be the stereotypical Biggie, Tupac, Nas, Jezzy. So, like, that shit, it's like you can't, just go, oh, that's just stereotypical. This the best.
And it's just what created, I feel like, especially Biggie, Tupac, it's just what created hip-hop beef.
Yeah. Honorable mention would be Ja Rule and 50 Cent. Like, that was actually an awesome time.
I would just say I think the biggest beef it was East Coast versus West Coast, and I think Biggie and Pac were a byproduct of that, but of a bigger situation that even became I think bigger than them, and it ended up costing them both their lives.
And that is the scary side to it. We'll get into that later.
That is the worst part, is when it becomes bigger than the music, it becomes real life.
Violent, yeah. So we can start back with Biggie and Tupac, like that whole era. Like, I always think, would Biggie and Tupac be like Jay-Z today, or would they Jay-Z and Snoop Dogg, I would say, or would they have fallen off? Is it their death that made them bigger, or what?
I don't think it was their death that made them bigger. I think they were just outright talented. Like, if Pac was a visionary. Like, if you listen to his music today, it resonates with what is going on still. So it shows that much hasn't really changed. Like, changes is crazy. Brenda Had a Baby is crazy. Like, he was a visionary and he was a storyteller. It's almost like a Taylor Swift of the rap genre. Like, he told a wonderful story. Same thing with Biggie.
I just gotta take a break from this. Don't ever put Tupac and Taylor Swift in the same sentence. I know we're supposed to just let that ride. I can't abide by it. I know even if it was a good reference, I don't want to hear it. So don't bring it up anymore. Thank you.
He is not the mediocre talent of the industry of hip hop.
So when we're talking about storytelling, Taylor Swift is one of the best to ever tell a story in music. So,
all right, that's the last time we bring up her name. Back to hip hop.
Security. Nah. But that's obviously an iconic one. Ended tragically, unfortunately. I think it's still crazy. One of Biggie's craziest lines to me is that he said he'd rather be with RuPaul than any of those ugly escape chicks. I was just like, sheesh. Biggie, like, back then, that line is so savage. Like, what is wrong with you, Biggie?
Pac said some crazy things and hit him up, like things that I won't even repeat.
I like Tupac's music, like, sonically better by far, to me personally.
Yeah, I agree.
And moving forward a little bit, Nas versus Jay-Z, an iconic one. Still, when they on records to this day, like when they were on DJ Khaled's last album, I was
Sorry,
like,
Not
hyped.
Sorry.
Yeah,
that was an awesome song.
Like, I'm glad that they squashed it, and like
it just shows you what happens with grown men when you don't kill them.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? When they have the opportunity to grow and become billionaires, millionaires, moguls, and get to go, oh man, we were kids back then. So you hate that there are artists that did not get that opportunity because of beef or like Tupac and Biggie. It's sad, very sad.
Well, there's like a difference, like, between a beef among competitors and then
I agree,
songs that are made because of beef. There's two different things. Like, I feel like Jay-Z and Nas were competitors, and so they went at it. But as opposed to Tupac and Biggie, Tupac thought Biggie had him set up when he got to New York, so that's what started that. It had nothing to do with music at all. It was just a way for him to get at him.
That's a fair point.
So yeah, we touched on that in one of our later videos when we were talking about Pop Spoken to everybody. But when we discussed like Kendrick Lamar and Drake, how the deepness of the beef, it's not that deep when it comes to J. Cole and Kendrick. Like, when it was Pac and Biggie, it was the difference between I thought you tried to take my life. So it's on
miscommunication too.
Yeah, like, let's communicate, guys.
Yeah. And then moving a little forward from that, 50 Cent's verse Ja Rule, that still continues.
That was actually, 50's petty to this day. So it's like
to this day.
But Job was rolling around with some real hitters, and Irv Gotti and them, and like they would come get you, and like they attempted to take 50's life in the studio. So it's like that was a beef that was beyond competitors.
It's almost crazy how like joking it is now because it was real back then. Like DJ Envy from the Breakfast Club always references stories about back then. Like you couldn't play because they would both have hit songs on the radio, but you couldn't play it in certain clubs, or you as a DJ is getting got. Like they're like, don't play that 50 in here, don't play that Ja Rule in here in different clubs. I was like,
that's crazy.
It's when it comes to 50 Cent, no one played the game better, and from the circumstance of where he was. Like I mean, that dude. First, you don't want to beef with him in any way. Forget about rap. You don't want to beef with him in any way, in business and fashion, and nothing. He just comes for your stuff. As soon as you are in his crosshairs, he will not let it go until he destroys you. He's done it time and time again.
But like, part of me respects it. Like, I respect the petty. Like, I'm just, you know, we can be petty.
50 Cent's one of the people that can do anything and not get canceled. So
it's facts because he knows the line. You think he's just out here being reckless, but no, he ain't no DaBaby. He ain't gonna get canceled. You know.
We need to pay attention to the people he don't like, because he'll like them and say certain things about them way before it comes to light, and then way down the line we find out, oh, that guy was a bad guy. And then 50's like, well, I said that 7 years ago, but sure. Like the stuff with Diddy, 50% been saying this stuff about Diddy.
It didn't seem like he had an actual issue with Diddy beyond, he too touchy. You know, I don't like the way he says things, you know, so
yeah.
I agree. 50 Cent seems to be ahead of the curve, so let's pay attention.
And then moving on to like, this will segue into like this year, because I feel like this year was beef heavy. Nicki Minaj versus anybody that's a female rapper.
Yeah, Nicki against the entire industry, not even just females, everybody.
To me, it's Nicki versus her insecurity, and she loses every time. It's the most insecure rapper who doesn't understand that she does not need to compete with these women, because it's not a competition unless she makes it one.
It's seriously not. It would be like Beyonce or Rihanna beefing with like any other new schoolgirls, like Tyler.
It's you see Rihanna beefing with Tyler, like that would look so silly.
That's insane.
And the crazy thing is, which when we go back, like you said, with her and Remy Ma, there was just no reason why you had to go and beef with a woman that just got off a 10-year or something sentence plus, and think that you need to prove a point. Like, what was the reason for that?
No. And what's crazy is, though, like, that's a huge W for Remy, because she was the last female rapper to win Best Female Hip Hop Artist at the BET Awards. Went to jail for 6 years. When Nicki won it every single year for 6 years straight. The second Remy got out, she won it again. That's like sick. Like, that's like sick that she did that.
But it's just, it speaks for itself right now. Like, where's Remy?
I mean, fair. I mean,
you know, but that's now
the I will
way.
Say Plateau Plomos with Fat Joe and Remy Ma, that entire album, top to bottom, was amazing.
But the way I just approach it is the way Nicki should have approached it. You won't be here in 5 years, you know.
But you can if you are like Remy did a rap beat, Sheether, which shook the Earth's core. Like, I
would have just been like, I had nothing against you in the first place, and nothing for me to talk about.
But then you would have not been. Nicki can't help herself. She can't help herself.
Yeah, she can help herself, but it was bad for business. You feel me? Definitely, because Nicki, it seems like the more she gets enraged, she's into something, it's like a mental block. She can't produce something. Like, I've heard stuff better than Bigfoot just on the Pink Print. I've heard just rapping, like good format stuff. Like, she's spitting.
Yeah.
Like, what? You just don't have to be that deep. And I always say this, even when it came to like Disney stuff. When we were talking about how they just try to be too political, how they try to push too much of an agenda. Sometimes just write a song. Write a good song. Yeah, and then insert the diss. That's all you have to do. That's what Megan Thee Stallion did with, what was it, Hiss? Was that what it's called? That's what she did. Write a good song. You should not go into the booth and be like, I'm going to... No. Write a good song first. Insert lyrics next.
To me, unless you are a person who... like, you should be able to tell when you write some bars, like, this ain't going. So let me just make a good song. Like if you have like
And
a
who's
lot
your-
of ammunition, then that's one thing. Like Euphoria with Kendrick. That wasn't necessarily like a hit record that would go on the radio.
Yeah,
but he had a lot of ammo to get off his chest, so it worked.
Absolutely. And the crazy thing is, when you're in this industry and you have people around you such as Wayne and Drake, I expect you to send them something to proofread.
Yeah.
You feel me? Send something to your proof. You best believe Remy Ma, but hey, Papoose, babe, how was this? And he said, I give it an A+.
Fat
You know what
Joe,
I'm saying?
Fat
Like
Joe.
yeah. So have people proofread your papers before you turn them in. That's what we were taught in college and in school. So proofread, please. I'm tired of weak stuff.
Side note though, Remy just dropped a new song that said, I'm gonna edit it because it's for YouTube. They won't let me say the word, but she said, they thought I my friend over a rap. And what do you think I would do to a girl that I can't stand? I was like, sheesh. Her and Fat Joe are those real gangster rappers.
No wonder Papoose stayed loyal the entire time. He ain't messing with her.
You know what that tells me?
What?
Them statute limitations is up.
Yeah.
I remember back when Gucci finally could say what he had to say after that whole thing with Jeezy's mans, and he was
Ooh,
like,
that's another rap.
Yeah, Gucci and Jeezy.
again,
golly.
that was
more
the
than
rap
beef.
was
That
the least thing
real life.
on everybody's mind. It was like, who is gonna make it to tomorrow?
Yeah.
That was real life.
Even
But
at their versus battle here, surely that was a little
at the end of the
icy.
day, Gucci was petty and didn't grab the olive branch, which I don't like that. I like to see
growth.
black men come together and say, I understand we didn't like each other at one point in time. We don't have to go to each other's birthday parties, kids' birthday parties, but we can be in the same room without shots being fired.
Yeah,
So
more money
I
together.
didn't like that Gucci was disrespectful during that versus.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, he did. It seems like, well, he really doesn't like him, but it seemed like it was more for clout than it was for, you know.
Which is what it normally is.
I will say, I understand his standpoint, because if he
get
thinks
it,
he's
too.
standing next to the man who ordered a hit on his life,
Yeah, but
I don't-
why
I
would
feel-
you
Why would you
stand
even do
next
it?
to a man who had a hit for your life?
Don't do
like
it.
you said, for clout,
Yeah.
Yeah, so
and to show he ain't scared.
Skirt. Now let's take it into this year, because this year is like hip hop beef central. Top of the year, Megan Thee Stallion drops Hiss, which
I didn't think it was a strong diss. I just thought it was a good song.
It was a good record
good record with the strongest diss that I've heard.
with one hard line, but the rest of it is all filler. But it's a good record.
Yeah, I liked it.
But the thing is that I liked about it, it provoked exactly who it was so effective. It provoked Nicki and it provoked all the men. Like all the men got so insecure. Nicki got insecure, and Meg just laughed straight to the #1 debut. And it's just like, it just did.
I don't think it was the track. I think everybody was already on that type of time with
I just
Megan
don't
Thee
think no one
Stallion.
likes Meg.
A lot of people do not like Megan Thee Stallion. There's a lot of people behind the scenes that say she's not a nice person. She's done a lot of very foul and shiesty things, and you know, I don't know. Who am I? I'm just some dude. But that's just what I heard.
But I mean, everyone will say that. But if I look with my own eyeballs, she's friends with and brought together the entire hip hop community. There's not one person outside of Nicki who's beef with everyone that doesn't like her. They're all friends.
You talking about men or females?
Like females, like, because Tim said there's a lot of
You talking
people
about like
who
Lotto, Glorilla?
Lotto, Glorilla, Cardi, everyone.
Okay, I'll give you that.
They
That's a fair
all,
point.
and they not only just like stomach her, they're all like, we love you, man.
I'll give you that, and then you're gonna just basically say that the men are petty just because, of course, you know,
Yeah,
they're gonna be better if things go south.
then that, and then that leads us to the beef of the year.
Century, maybe.
Century. I am arguing that this might be the biggest commercial wise. Like,
I
beef.
think commercial wise, it's the biggest.
And it produced the most content.
I agree.
And that is Future, Drake. Who else is involved? J. Cole at one
Lamar.
point. Kendrick Lamar.
And then of course every Rick Ross, all them like every I don't know
A$AP Rocky,
the game. I'm really not hearing all them like you know.
The game was chasing it on that one.
Yeah, he was. He was trying to get into it.
No one wanted to hear what he had to say.
Wow, the Cloud Tisha. We'll start with the first song, like that.
Yeah, like that. So yeah, it's just
Such
Kendrick Lamar came for blood off rip. He had something to say with his chest, and he said it. I just think it was just so dumb for Drake to allow Kendrick Lamar to bet him into a trap.
Now that's when I would have did what you said Nicki should have done. I would have been like, "Yo, as a black man, we gotta uplift each other. I don't want to." I'm like, "That's just
I want no smoke. I want no parts."
That's what I just would have did that.
So no, so that's the problem is you got to understand Kendrick Lamar is not a dummy. Okay, you don't think that he's been waiting for this beef. For how long so we don't even know when like that how long it was created. So think about this. So say if Future said, hey, 5 months from now there's a song coming out like that, I want you to get on, I want you to diss Drake, and he took 5 months to just sit there and write this and just to look up dirt and get on Drake. The only person that really had to respond in a timely fashion is Drake, right?
Yeah.
We don't know. You don't know. Think about it. That night, didn't Drake dropped with Drake and he dropped one like in an hour next?
Yep.
Do you really think that he had enough time?
Drake was hot too. Drake was hot that he released that fast.
Do you think he really had time to do that? So see, Drake was looking. He didn't have a team to say, pump the brakes, take your time, let's evaluate the situation. That's like in war, like just saying, oh, we got to go there and then falling in a ditch because you got set up. No, take your time. I think he got set up. I do not think Kendrick Lamar. I think Kendrick Lamar is very talented with his pen. I think he's the best to probably one ever do it. However, I don't think he is talented enough to make the subliminal messages, the double entendres, the triple entendres in that shorter period of time. So I think Drake rocked into a trap and got set up. I think this was all planned by Kendrick Lamar.
And I think that people thought that Drake had a fighting chance because Drake's first diss track, people were like, it might not be a.
And that's exactly what Kendrick Lamar tended to be. He knew he was going to come out with one good one.
Not like Us, which is.
Kendrick Lamar had a movie made already. He had the prequel made already. He had the, you know what I'm saying?
He had the rollout.
He had everything.
And then pop-up concert with it.
Yep. He knew what he was going. Drake just said, oh, I'm just going to get on this mic and we're going to rap. It was chess. It wasn't checkers.
And Not Like Us is a certified hit. Arguably the biggest song of the year. It's just, now he's performing at the Super Bowl. So it's like his reign is into next year.
I'm just
now.
like, what do you do if you're Drake? Like, what do you do? You're watching football on a Sunday evening and they not like us. They not like I would smash my TV.
Everyone, every club, every commercial, every time.
Everything.
The battle song for if you are like facing someone is They Not Like Us.
Yeah, like, sheesh.
Which tells me now, like, I got to think, like, the person who put him in the Super Bowl was Jezzy. And now I'm like,
but isn't Jay-Z?
Was Jay-Z's issue with Drake? You know what I mean? Like,
so think about
because to do it now, that's not by mistake. It can't be.
So think about
business is business though. Like
think about
he has the hottest song of the year. Have him be Super Bowl.
I understand, but there's more people qualified. But think about it. A$AP Rocky's beefing with Drake right now, right? Who's A$AP Rocky's girl? Rihanna. It's Rihanna, right?
Yeah.
And didn't Drake and Rihanna have beef?
Yeah.
So it's just like,
yeah. I mean, Drake said it in the song. But lastly, we'll wrap on this. Do you think hip hop, that beef is good for hip hop?
I think nonviolent beef is good for hip hop. I think this was a wonderful spectating sport to watch Drake in, because nobody's career got ended. Nobody is really losing money besides Drake's mental. But still, hopefully the money and millions of dollars helps him wipe them crocodile tears away, But
very true.
I always say this. I think beef is no good for hip hop whatsoever. Rap beef is
keeping it on wax.
Awesome. It's the sport, and nobody wants to see, you know, a bunch of friendly people. You don't want to go to a basketball game and watch everybody kumbaya. You want to watch LeBron James dunk on somebody's head top. It's just competition. You want to see somebody dunk on the other one. That's cool. Rap beef always been in hip hop, and it's great for hip hop.
Yeah, and that's what I always say about, like, you know, we'll have debates like Beyonce versus Taylor or anything like that, and people try to get so in their feelings, like, do not compare people. Da, da, da. I'm like, it's just like sports where you can. It's just like that.
We as human beings love competition.
Yeah.
And we love pitting people against these people. Like, let's be real. The Romans made a coliseum to watch people slaughter each other. Guys, I'm sorry to tell you, we are some animalistic human beings. That's just how we are. We like competition.
Yep. And the craziest part is, in the Coliseum, it started off with slaves being the contestants, and they got so famous that they started getting volunteers. because that's how much people want to be great.
But all right, guys,
not entertained.
I can't wait to see Gladiator.
Denzel.
But yeah, but let us know in the comments, guys, who's you guys' favorite rap beef, and do you think that rap beef is good for the culture and for hip hop? But on that note,
I'm Donnie,
and I'm James, and this was another episode of
the DJ State.
Now we about to beat.
I know I was about to fight Tim. I was about to snap, and we were about to go on another topic.
I know, that's why I didn't say nothing.
You see me go.